Hello everyone, welcome back to Project Mastery Podcast. This is part 4 of CPMAI question bank series. Let's jump in. In which phase are we trying to get our machine learning models to learn? Is it the learning phase or the model phase or the training phase or the development phase, or is it going to be the inference phase or operational phase? The right answer is training phase. Moving on to the next question. Your team is testing the NLP model they just created to make sure it is performing as expected. Some of your team members want to move this model to production and move to the next iteration. What is wrong with this workflow? Are you going to make sure go no go questions get addressed, or team members should not be able to move to new projects until senior manager sign off, or you are saying nothing is wrong with the workflow, you can move to the next iteration, or you need to focus on model evaluation? The right answer is model evaluation. Model evaluation requires continuous model evaluation, retraining and operationalization. Moving an NLP model directly to production after initial testing without a thorough and ongoing evaluation process is going to be risky and incomplete. Model evaluation is not a one-time step but a continuous process that involves continuous monitoring of the model's performance in the real-world environment. By doing this, you are going to detect the degradation or biases that may emerge over time. You are going to retrain the model with new or updated data so that you are able to maintain and improve accuracy and can adapt to changes in input patterns. Operationalization means integrating the model into production systems with proper safeguards, scalability and maintainability in place. Skipping these steps can lead to deploying a model that performs poorly or becomes outdated, which is going to cause errors and negatively impacting users or business outcomes. Therefore, the workflow should include continuous evaluation, retraining, and proper operationalization before fully moving to the next iteration or new projects. Let's move on to the next question. When building a model, you need to make sure you're not only checking for performance and making sure the model is giving the expected results. You also need to make sure the model is accomplishing the business objectives. At what phase of CPMAI is this most appropriate to do? The answer is phase 5. It's only during phase 5, evaluation is the most appropriate phase to ensure that the model is not only technically sound but also meeting the business objectives. While earlier phases focus on data preparation, model development, training, phase 5 is dedicated to evaluating the effectiveness of the model against the original business goals which are defined in phase 1. Phase 5 is going to include reviewing model performance metrics. It's going to verify whether the model's predictions are aligned with real-world expectation, confirming whether the model is going to deliver the business value and support decision making, and you're going to decide if the model is ready for deployment or needs to be refined. Moving on to the next question. During project planning, the project team is trying to define the project scope during the business understanding phase. The team cannot come to a consensus on what you mean by success criteria. What should the project manager do next? Are you going to move on to the data understanding phase, or the project manager is going to create success criteria for the project to move forward, or you're going to work with technology vendors to help define success criteria, or you're not going to move forward until the team can define success criteria? The right answer is, as a project manager, you're not supposed to move forward until the team can define success criteria for the project. During business understanding phase, clearly defining the project success criteria is essential because that's going to set the foundation for the entire AI project. You need to align the team's goals and expectations. Without a shared understanding of what success looks like, the team risks working towards different objectives, which can cause wasted effort and miscommunication. This is going to guide decision making and prioritization. Clear success criteria is going to help determine which features, which data, which resources are most important, and ensuring the project stays focused. It is also going to enable measurement and evaluation. Success criteria provides benchmarks so that you're able to assess if the project is delivering value and whether it's meeting the stakeholder needs. If the team cannot agree on what success means, moving forward would risk building a solution that doesn't meet business needs or delivers unclear benefits. Therefore, the project manager should pause progress and facilitate discussion or workshop to reach consensus on the success criteria before proceeding. This is going to ensure that all the stakeholders have a clear vision, all the stakeholders have a shared vision for the project goals. Moving on to the next question. In the case that an algorithm you want to use is not algorithmically explainable, AI system should try to do the following. Options given are means to have a different team, or means to interpret AI, or means to reverse engineer algorithm, or means to have contestability of the algorithm set. The right answer is provide a means to interpret AI results so that cause and effect can be represented. When an AI algorithm is not inherently explainable, often called a black box, it's crucial to provide ways to interpret the results so stakeholders can understand how decisions are made. Interpreting AI results helps reveal the cause and effect relationship. This interpretability is going to build trust and transparency, which are essential for ethical AI deployment. Compliance with regulation is going to gain stakeholder confidence. Simply having another team do a reverse engineering of the algorithm is impracticable and doesn't guarantee understanding the model's behavior in real-world scenario. Providing contestability is important but comes after interpretability. which is foundational to knowing why decisions were made. Focusing on interpretability ensures AI systems are accountable and the results can be explained in meaningful ways, even when the underlying algorithm is not fully explainable. Moving on to the next question. You are working with a small inexperienced team on a new ML project. Choosing the best algorithm with the best setting, given the training and test data, is proven to be very hard for them. You lack the critical data science resource available on your team, and you can't wait weeks until data science resource becomes available to join your team. What is the best course of action for this scenario? Are you going to find a citizen data scientist to help? Or are you going to put the project on hold until resources become available? Or are you going to outsource the project immediately? Or are you going to use an automated solution? The right answer is, in this scenario, you have to use an auto ML solution. Why? When you're working with a small inexperienced team and don't have access to expert data science resources, but still need to move forward with your machine learning project, the best course of action is to use an auto ML solution. Auto ML solution refers to the tools and platforms that automatically perform many of the steps the machine learning workflow does. It's going to perform algorithm selection, hyperparameter tuning, data preprocessing, model training and evaluation. These tools are designed to simplify the process of building, deploying ML models, especially for non-experts. Next question. What is outpainting? Is it a technique where AI fills in missing parts, or it's going to make the images sharper? The right answer is, it's a generative AI technique to expand or create new content beyond the existing boundaries of an image. Next question. Business processes are both software and hardware, or explicit and implicit, or automated and autonomous, or they are original and unique, or expensive and outdated? The right answer is, business processes are both explicit and implicit. Next question. What happens if you tune your model too tightly? It will not provide any results, or it will overfit the data, or it will underfit the data, or it will learn the opposite of what you want. The right answer is, if you tune your model too tightly, it will overfit the data. Next question. You have been tasked by the organization to manage an LLM project. You need to identify what LLMs are useful for. Select all that apply. The right answer is, you're going to manage a large LLM project. You need to identify the LLMs which are going to be useful for improving search quality, classify and categorize content, text summarization, machine translation, code generation. LLMs are powerful AI models trained on vast amount of text data, enabling them to understand, generate, manipulate NLP. They are particularly useful for the following tasks: improve search quality. LLMs can understand user queries more deeply and provide more relevant search results by interpreting context and interpreting intent. And they are going to be useful for classifying and categorizing content. LLMs can analyze text to assign categories or tags, help organize large volume of content effectively. It's also going to be used for text summarization. You can generate concise summaries of long documents, making information easier. It's also going to be used for machine translation, where you can translate text between languages by capturing linguistic nuances. It's also being used for advanced code generation. LLMs can generate code snippets. It's going to assist the programmers. It's going to automate coding by understanding NLP prompts. Next question. What is one way to resolve high variance issues? Are you going to use a complex model or a neural network? Or you're going to use ensemble method? But you'll guess the answer by now. The right answer is, you need to use ensemble methods to resolve high variance issues. Next question. What is the proper data end of life hierarchy? The data end of life hierarchy is going to be backup first, and then archive, and then disposal of data. Next question. What are business process focused on? Business process are focused on data system network, or people community families, or finance technology, or people process technology. The right answer is, business process is focused on people, process and technology. Next question. When explainability is a core requirement for a system, what is the algorithmic approach that you're going to choose? Are you going to provide regulatory citations, or provide cost, time effective implementation, or provide explanations only when asked for legal reasons, or you're going to provide appropriate explanation as long as prediction accuracy is acceptable? You would have guessed the answer. The right answer is, you need to provide the appropriate explanation as long as prediction accuracy is acceptable. Next question. Your organization wants to keep an eye on AI system for governance purpose. What is the most critical thing that you need to do here? There are three critical things here. You need to continuously system monitor. You have to deal with AI system testing requirements and human chain of accountability. Why continuous monitoring, testing and human accountability are key for AI governance? AI systems operate in dynamic environment, and they are going to change their behavior over time due to data drift, model degradation, or unforeseen inputs. Ongoing monitoring is essential so that you are able to detect performance issues, biases, failures early, ensuring AI system is going to remain reliable, fair, and aligned with our goals. This is going to also support transparency and helps maintain trust in system outputs. AI system testing requirement is also a key concept here. Before doing deployment, rigorous testing verifies AI system performs as expected in variety of scenarios. You're going to validate the accuracy, fairness, security, robustness you're going to define and enforce testing standards, which is going to be vital for governance to ensure compliance with regulations and internal policies. And the last answer is human chain of accountability. Governance frameworks must clearly identify who is responsible for the AI system at each stage, from development to deployment and to monitoring. Accountability ensures there is oversight, ethical responsibility, clear point of contact for decision making, and corrective action. This human element is critical to uphold ethical standards and legal compliance. Moving on to the next question, what is regression? Regression is a learning problem area that is seeking to find a pattern or trend that fits a line. Next question, you are working on the data engineering pipeline for the AI project, and you want to make sure to address the creation of pipelines to deal with model iteration. What part of the pipeline deals with this step? The right answer is retraining pipelines. Model iteration in AI project involves continuously improving the model by retraining it with new or updated data. This process requires a dedicated part of the data engineering pipeline, which must be designed to automate and manage these repeated training cycles. Retraining pipelines specifically address this need by orchestrating the flow of data from pre-processing through model training and evaluation. It's going to enable the model to be updated regularly as new data arrives or as performance requirements change. Other options are focusing on different parts of the pipeline. Feature engineering focuses on creating transforming features. Data acquisition deals with collecting raw data. ELT pipeline, extract load transform pipeline, is going to manage data movement and transformation. It's not specialist for model retraining. Therefore, retraining pipeline is the best fit for managing model iteration efficiently and reliably in AI pipelines. Next question, what are the two approaches to reduce the dataset size for training? The best approach here, you're going to follow data sampling and data attribute pruning. Next question, you have joined a team and they are working on a new project. The project lead is not sure what type of technology should be used in the project, AI or traditional software development approach. What is the best way to determine if you have the criteria for a good AI project? You're going to determine whether or not the project requires a cognitive solution, and then determine whether or not the cognitive solution meets a short-term organization need. This is an important concept. When deciding whether to use AI or a traditional software approach, the key consideration is whether the project truly needs a cognitive solution, one that involves learning, pattern recognition, or decision making beyond fixed rules. First, you need to assess if the problem requires cognitive capabilities such as understanding NLP, image recognition, prediction, adaptation. If not, traditional software might be more appropriate. Second, even if a cognitive solution fits the problem, it's very important to determine if it aligns with the organization's short-term needs and goals. AI projects can be resource intensive and complex, so you need to ensure they deliver value within the organization constraints. This two-step evaluation is going to help avoid unnecessary complex AI solutions when simpler methods are sufficient. And you're also able to ensure that AI efforts are purposeful and aligned with business priorities. Next question. Data management is important for any organization. What is one area? What is one area that doesn't fall under data management? Is it going to be master data management or data stewardship or data quality management or data security or data governance or data silo? The right answer is data silo. Note the question. It says, what is the one area that does not fall under data management? Data silo is the area that does not fall under data management. We have come to the end of this episode. Keep going. The next set of 20 questions. Hit subscribe. This CPMAI practice vault is designed to sharpen exam confidence and your real AI project execution. More real project management wisdom on the way. Thank you for tuning in.